Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 279. Hope you're having a great day so far, wherever you're tuning into this show across the country. I'm proud to say Tech It Out is on more than 100 radio stations. And of course, it's a podcast too, which is how you may be tuning in. Hey, if you like this show, please feel free to leave a review at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you tune into the program. Amazon, Audible, Google, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, you get the idea. However and wherever you tune in to Tech It Out, a review and a rating goes a long way. Thank you so much. Alrighty, we have several guests on Tech It Out today and many topics to tackle. We're going to first kick things off by learning about 3D laptops that don't require special glasses to see the effect. We're going to be joined by one of my favorite companies, ASUS. And yes, they're also the title sponsor of this show, for full transparency. We're going to hear what wowed the crowds at the recent Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, when it comes to ASUS laptops. After that, we're going to learn all about the PlaySee app. That's PLAYSEE. It lets you capture and share everyday experiences, and it focuses on positivity. Very popular and up-and-coming app. On the back half of Tech It Out, over-the-counter hearing aids are here as of last October. So we're going to learn about an award won by Lexi for their B2 model that has Bose technology, and it costs much less than other hearing aids. And finally, we all know what a problem lost luggage is these days. And so we're going to have on the CEO of a company called Boomerang with a solution. And he says, while they're popular, Apple AirTags actually contribute to the problem. My wife Kelly's suitcase didn't show up on our recent vacation until we were 3 days in, and I'm sure there are many stories like that. So that's coming up as well. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. Speaking of which, I'm really looking forward to this first interview. The 2023 Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, wrapped up in Vegas last week, and one of the laptop brands that wowed the crowds was ASUS, with a handful of new products coming this year that garnered quite a lot of buzz. But hey, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas, as we're going to now hear about ASUS's CES lineup with a friend of the show, Vernon Coutinho. Vernon is Senior Director of North American Consumer Sales at ASUS North America. Nice to chat with you again, Vernon.
Thank you for having me on the show, Mark. Pleasure as always.
Likewise. Before we hear about your CES highlights, please tell us a bit about ASUS for our listeners.
Absolutely. Most of your listeners should be familiar with the ASUS brand. We're a company headquartered in Taiwan. Worldwide, we're number 3 market share in consumer notebooks, so we're pretty big in definitely in the tech sector. If you have any gaming friends or friends who game, they would most definitely know about ASUS and our ROG brand. We're also a leading manufacturer of motherboards, graphic cards, monitors, routers, and also Fortune's world's most admired companies, as well as Forbes' top regarded companies. So
wow.
Definitely a pretty big company, and we have more than 17,000 employees, and we have been in the tech business for around 27 years.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm recording this interview right now on an ASUS laptop. I think our listeners may be surprised to know that ASUS is in the top 3 of all laptop makers in the world, which is awesome for consumer notebooks. But maybe there's something else that our listeners don't know about ASUS.
Yes, absolutely. So here's a few tidbits about us. One, we're number 1 gaming market share in North America. So we are, as I said, are very famous for our pedigree in gaming. We make a lot of premium laptops, and for most of the tech experts, just like you, Mark, we are famous for innovation. So we do come out with new technology first, and that's kind of in our DNA.
Yeah.
And some of the other things they might not know is we're the number 1 manufacturer of OLED notebooks worldwide. And we're also the number 1 motherboard vendor worldwide with pretty much, I believe, close to 1 in 3 motherboards in the world being built by ASUS.
So how was your CES, Vernon? Did you enjoy the show? It was fun to be back in person, right?
Absolutely. After a few years of virtual CES, this was great to actually meet our customers and partners in person.
And journalists too. Come on.
and journalists too, yes.
Without further ado, let's talk highlights from ASUS's vantage point at CES when it comes to new laptops.
Right. So we are obviously post-pandemic, if I want to maybe go out on a limb and say that. So a lot of customers are looking for better products, I believe, in this day and age. Most of us are now spending more time on tech than before, more time maybe working from home or on the road. And I feel the customers are now gravitating to better technology as opposed to necessarily value. So we have introduced a whole bunch of new products at CES, right from the value segment and all the way to our high-end gaming that we're obviously famous for. In gaming, what we will see is a series of new laptops with different screen sizes. So we have now 16 inches, we have 18-inch laptops, and of course there are new CPUs and new graphic cards, which tend to happen every year. In gaming, the focus seems to be a lot more on thin and light gaming laptops. I think most customers will understand that gaming laptops tend to be very powerful and therefore quite big and heavy, and that's not the case. So if you haven't shopped around for a gaming laptop, this might be the time. You'd be amazed at some of the gaming laptops. They just look like regular laptops, sometimes thinner, and still pack a punch in terms of performance.
Yeah, that's been a huge change over the years because a gaming laptop in the past was really just a desktop replacement. It was a chunky laptop that was really not portable, but good to see that's changed. And I think the OLED laptops, including ones that you debuted a couple of weeks back, also are super thin, just like OLED TVs. We are chatting with Vernon Coutinho. He's Senior Director of North American Consumer Sales at ASUS North America. Talk to me about this 3D laptop that people were buzzing about at CES.
Absolutely. So we did launch 2 new 3D laptops at CES. So I think everyone's familiar that if you use 3D, you normally use 3D glasses. We've launched a laptop that gives you 3D effects without glasses. So this was actually quite mind-boggling. I was shocked when I first saw it the first time, and it is amazing. These laptops are designed for creators. As I said, you don't need any 3D glasses. It looks like a regular laptop, but you can toggle between 2D and 3D. If you're a creator as in you design things, whether it's buildings, whether it's games, whether you're doing 3D printing, this is amazing. You get to see what you made in 3D before you actually have to either mass produce it or print it or do anything else with it.
Without needing glasses. Wow.
Without needing glasses. This is so phenomenal. And of course, it's on an OLED screen, so the screen quality is fantastic.
And this is called ASUS Spatial Vision technology for visualizing projects in 3 dimensions.
Yes, absolutely. Spatial vision is what we call it. It is amazing. And I think this laptop is going to be, as we launch it, there's going to be a lot of demand for it.
Any estimate on when it will be available?
It should launch in a late springtime frame, and it should be available in North America around that time.
Okay. And speaking of OLED, Vernon, tell us a little bit more about the benefits of it. Does it give you that amazing contrast levels that we see on TVs?
Yes, absolutely. So if you've shopped for a TV in the last few years, I'm sure everyone would know what an OLED means. The screens are fantastic. They are so vibrant and bright. In fact, I've started using an OLED laptop just 3 weeks back, and I don't think I could ever go back to a non-OLED laptop. ASUS has had OLED laptops for almost a year now. So this is now a second generation with better screens, better refresh rates. If you walk into a store and you see an OLED laptop, you will know without me telling you that it's OLED just because of how great it looks. And for all of us out there who are worried about blue light from screens, obviously OLED reduces that by more than 70%. So not only does the laptop look fantastic, it's actually good for you as well.
And speaking of good for you and good for the environment, let's talk sustainability, and then we'll wrap up on military strength out of your laptops.
Yes. So sustainability is a big focus for ASUS. About 10 years back, we launched a Bamboo series of laptops. And in 2022, we launched a carbon neutral business laptop. So we've been doing this for some time. 90% of our ASUS consumer laptops will meet EPEAT and ENERGY Star 8 standards. So these are industry-wide standards of making sure that we're using products that are focused on functional durability and upgradability. We've also procured and employed 1,500 tons of PCR, so post-consumer recycled plastic, since 2017. So there's a ton of things that we're doing in terms of making sure that our products use recyclable products and also can be recycled when they're past their shelf life.
Love that.
We do want our customers to appreciate, like our products, and recommend them. So there are 2 things that we're going to have across our consumer product lineup. One is a MIL 8110 standard. So this is a military grade standard. Normally, only the highest end business laptops would actually have this. We are launching it across our entire consumer lineup. So military grade standard basically means that there are 23 tests that we do on the laptop to make sure that they are durable. And those include humidity test, drop test, vibration test, spill-proof test. So we want customers to not only buy our product, but to have a long and active use of it. So that's something that we're going to be doing across our consumer laptop, and we are the only manufacturer doing this right now. And the other thing that's very topical, like especially since we've all been through the COVID years, we're also going to have an antimicrobial coating on all our laptops. What that means is that the coating that has on your keyboard and where your hands rest will have an antimicrobial coating, and that kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. So I'm sure we've all heard the stories of how phones and laptops tend to be the most dirtiest because everyone's touching things and then obviously typing on those keyboards. And this will definitely help fix that. So 2 of these features and benefits that we're doing across our line, and that's very unique to ASUS, and there's no additional charge to the customers for this.
Awesome. All right. So regardless of the kind of laptop our listeners are interested in, what's the best website?
Best website is asus.com. From there, you would be able to learn about all the products that we're talking about, as well as also purchase product, and then also have links to our partners that carry our different products. So that's the best place to go to.
Always a pleasure chatting with you, Vernon. I'm wishing you a fantastic 2023. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark.
It's one of the fastest growing social media apps on the planet, Playsee, Playsee. We're going to learn all about it when we return on Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Hope you're having a great day so far. I'll give you my social media handles in a few minutes if you want to say hi online or if you have tech questions. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. With all the talk about social media these days, there's drama at Twitter, fallout at Meta, formerly Facebook, concerns over TikTok. There's free speech concerns at Parler and Truth Social. There's one up-and-coming social media platform that's gaining traction fast called Playsee, which is looking to stand out from the crowd. Joining us to chat is Wendy May, Head of Product and Strategy at Playsee. Welcome, Wendy. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us to chat about Playsee. Why don't we start at a high level? What is Playsee all about? And for our listeners, it's Playsee, all one word.
Yes. Playsee is a designated social media platform for neighborhood-centric discovery in highlighting everyday moments of people, places, and events happening in each local neighborhood. Playsee has seen a significant increase in people engaging with content from their local communities and while sharing their local daily experiences with others in the neighborhood as well. So through our interactive user interface map design, where a user can simply navigate through the map and find their designated location or their location of their desire and start exploring that location, that area through short-form videos or local discussion forum called Playsee boards.
Okay. Can you give us an example? So let's say I live in a neighborhood in San Francisco or a suburb of Atlanta, and I want to see what's going on. You said it's neighborhood centric. So can you give me an example of what I may be looking for and what I could find?
Yes. So from a video perspective, let's say you live in San Francisco, you're able to find your neighborhood people potentially jogging down, the Golden Gate Bridge and then the new scenery around it, or maybe potentially the new farmers market around your neighborhood, around your block, that the new booth happening. And from the Playsee boards perspective, if taking a farmers market as an example again, where maybe there is one of the booths that has the cheapest tomatoes, right? And you want to share with your neighbor, you should go to this specific booth and to get the cheapest tomatoes from there. Well, this type of content will really matter to local people or people in the area because it's relatable and relevant to them. Well, it might not be as necessarily related or interesting to other, maybe in Atlanta, for example.
Okay, I got it. I was going to ask you how Playsee differs from other social media platforms, because I know there are other neighborhood-centric ones like Nextdoor, for example. So is it that Playsee heavily focuses on video content?
Actually, we're focusing on both. So one is video content where people will share their everyday moments or daily life, and other users in that area will be able to get related and feel the familiarity around it. Because maybe, for example, the farmers market example again, where they've been there. So when they see the surrounding, they know, actually that booth is where I usually go. But then from this user, when they share the other booth, maybe next time I can go there. And another new feature that we had launched recently is called Placey Boards, which is a discussion forum that user can actually create a local conversation with others in the community. So while Nextdoor indeed is also focusing on neighborhood, but I would say that's more on kind of like a tool concept or within strictly into that kind of smaller kind of block. Well, we really want you to start discovering and meet the neighbor that you've never met, or find a hidden gem, or maybe just down next block that you never realized it was there.
Got it. And is it true that you've already amassed more than 30 million users already, and you only launched in 2020 and during a pandemic, no less? How did you achieve that? And congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes, so since our launch in 2020, we have gained more than 30 million users worldwide because we focus on inclusion and encourage users to step outside into real life and explore local happenings and create little moments that bring community closer.
Just anecdotally, like, are people okay? Are people comfortable sharing their location on a map or in an app? I know that, like with Snap Maps and all that, people are opting in for that.
So actually, this is one of the top questions we do get. Placey takes data compliance very seriously, and we work very hard to comply with all the regulation and policies. We don't take users' GPS if we do not receive consent from the user. We identify users' location through all the available data and legal data that we get. However, because we are a location-based social media platform or neighborhood-centric platform, to have the best experiences, we do suggest user to provide their exact location for user to really see what's happening and be able to connect with user around them.
Okay, because it is a location-centric platform, that's the assumption that you're going to want to share your info there. I get that for sure. We are chatting with Wendy May. She is head of product and strategy at Placey, a popular social media app that is considered a neighborhood-centric discovery platform. I understand you've got some other data as well tied to different age groups. For example, Gen Z. What are they looking for specifically?
So Gen Z on our platform, they're mostly looking for sharing travel and nature, but travel within their community or finding a thrift or little small shops within the community, within the neighborhoods. And then they're also looking for meet friends around their area as well. And while versus, other generation, it's a little bit different.
So that's shopping, finding friends. And then for millennials, what's different with them?
They are more attractive to nature and sports.
Okay, so they're more interested in sports, and dance boards are the more popular ones. And they're also looking to attract new friends as well.
Yes.
All right, it's Placey, Playsee, one word. You can search for it at the Apple App Store for iPhone or the Google Play Store for Android. Thank you again, Wendy. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mark.
If you're on social media, drop by and say hi. I'll spell my name in a moment, but would love to hear from Tech It Out listeners. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. I write a tech tip of the day. I post videos, links to radio and podcast interviews, and all the articles I write. So I hope to see you on social media. When we return on Tech It Out, over-the-counter hearing aids are becoming popular since they debuted in October. We're going to hear about an award-winning pair from Lexi and Bose. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Last October, we covered the news about being able to buy hearing aids over the counter, thanks to a long overdue rule change by the FDA, which basically means devices can now be sold in retail stores without the need for buyers to see a doctor first. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, and Lexi Hearing Aids, powered by Bose, was honored at the USA Today Accessibility Awards at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas, where I broadcasted last week's show from. Joining us on the line to tell us all about this award is Brian McGuire, Senior Vice President of Lexi North America. Nice to chat with you again, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Really appreciate being back.
Congrats on the award that you won, the Accessibility Awards. I like that a lot. We're going to get to that in a moment. And we're also going to talk about Lexi and the products that your company has, including the B2s, which won the award. Before all that, though, please give us a quick update. For those that did not hear our interview last October, talk to us about this major shift in how Americans can get a hearing aid today.
Great. I'd be happy to. October of last year, there was some real landmark legislation that went through into the regulatory environment. And this was called the OTC Hearing Aid Act. And for the first time, consumers are able to purchase a hearing aid over the counter without the need for a prescription or consultation from a medical professional. So this is really a huge breakthrough for consumers who oftentimes put off purchasing a hearing aid because of some of the obstacles that stand in their way, whether that's price or whether that's accessibility to the devices themselves. So a really big change in the landscape, and we're just getting underway with that now.
Okay, great. So OTC, over the counter, it's significant because it offers greater accessibility, but also presumably lower cost. You know, I've been writing about hearing aids, the tech that's in them for many years, if not decades, and these can be expensive. Competition just breeds better pricing overall?
Yeah, they sure can be expensive. I would agree with you there. An estimated 30 million Americans live with untreated hearing loss, and up until this October timeframe when everything started to shift, about 1 in 5 people who could benefit from wearing a hearing aid actually get one. So the majority clearly do not. So it's a huge unaddressed need. And the two top reasons given by consumers generally are expense, or the cost associated with getting the devices. They can cost upwards of $4,000 a pair if you get them through a professional. And of course, the accessibility. So sometimes to make an appointment and go see a doctor to do this isn't reasonable for a lot of people.
All right. So with that in mind, how does Lexi Hearing fit into all of this? Talk to us about the company. And I know that you used to work at Bose as well. And
yes.
That will lead us nicely into the B2 model that won those awards.
Very good. Yeah. So Lexi Hearing, we sell high quality, feature-rich hearing aids that are clinically proven to provide audiologist quality results at a really affordable price. So that's really where our sweet spot is giving consumers this performance that they can fine-tune the performance of the product directly at their own home. And all of this comes for under $1,000 a pair. So we've sold these products or hearing aid products directly to consumers for years and established strong rapport with them and have a great, robust support system in place. So, of course, we're there not only for the sale of the product and the onboarding, but really over the lifetime of ownership to help folks with their hearing health journey. Most recently, we've partnered with Bose, as you mentioned, and that's really to bring two real experts, one in audio and, of course, the other in hearing technology, to bring new products to life. And you can see that represented in the Lexi B2 hearing aids, the over-the-counter hearing aids powered by Bose.
All right. So with that in mind, the B2 model won this accessibility award at the 2023 CES, or Consumer Electronics Show. What was the theme of the awards?
So this was Lexi received an inaugural USA Today Accessibility Award, and it really focuses on specifically new products improving accessibility for those people who need it the most. So we were really pleased to receive this high honor, of course, but more importantly, this is a win for consumers, right? That for the first time in many, many years or even decades, they can purchase over-the-counter hearing aids that are highly effective, can be tuned to their own hearing needs, and get this all at a fraction of a price of traditional hearing aids. And we're there to support them along the journey.
Yeah, and I know your CEO, Nick Klopper, spoke at a panel at CES as well.
Yes, he was at the panel to receive the award and also spoke with other leaders in accessibility. So it was really exciting to see that there's a new attention being drawn to this space in particular. And of course, hearing health is part of that.
Sure. Because this is radio, Brian, we are chatting with Brian McGuire, SVP of Lexi North America, about their B2 Bluetooth-based hearing aids. Because this is radio, how small are these? Can you describe them?
Of course. Yeah, they're very tiny. They're actually meant to be virtually invisible, right? So they sit behind your ear. They're feather light, so they're designed to be really worn all day, every day. So we take very careful attention to not only the physical size of the device, but the weight.
All right. Because they're Bluetooth-based hearing aids, you can pair them with your phone. So if a call comes in, then you can obviously keep your hearing aids in and do that call, or you can pair them with, say, a smart TV or a laptop. But from what I remember, Brian, from from our chat a few months back is that you can't yet stream music or podcasts from your phone to the hearing aids. Any sort of update on that?
No update just yet on that. So our primary goal was really making sure that people could hear out loud conversations better, or those TV interactions that we see as really important to people. And certainly you can have your phone calls. We will be making constant updates to the product over the course of this year and years to come. And we're very aware that many users will want to stream some of their media through the devices. So no immediate updates for you there, but we can commit to getting you that information as soon as we have it.
Fair enough. It's just because of the partnership with Bose. You know, they're synonymous with high audio quality. I'm eager to know if and when your next gen products could maybe have that feature built in, but I get it. And then finally, you mentioned it was under $1,000 for the Lexi B2s. Where can we learn more about them?
Yeah, sure. You can go onto lexihearing.com and you can online very quickly there take a quick hearing assessment. It takes you less than 2 minutes. It's a screener that will give you an indication of where you are in your hearing health today, whether that's none or mild to moderate, or perhaps something more severe where you need to see a professional. Okay. And so you can do that. You can find out all about our products, or if you happen to prefer going to a local retailer, you can go online to a pharmacy, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Best Buy, and Amazon. So all the places that you consider and purchase your products today.
All right. And then Lexi Hearing is LEXIE hearing.com. Brian, great to chat with you. Congrats on this accessibility award from USA Today. Thanks so much for your time.
Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, we talked about ASUS earlier, the title sponsor on Tech It Out. And speaking of computers, it's a new year. So if you've got some resolutions, I've got one that I would suggest adding to it, which would be to regularly back up your important info, just in case something happens. You lose your PC, you drop it, you get a nasty virus, a damaging power surge. I always trust Western Digital and SanDisk external drives. I have them connected to my computer and I have them set up to back up my important files every night at like 2 a.m. I like having offline and local storage along with the cloud, and I only trust drives from Western Digital and SanDisk. Hey, when we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn all about Boomerang on how to get your lost luggage back. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. While they've grown in popularity as a means to track lost luggage and other items, Apple AirTags, you know, those small little trackers that help you locate things, perhaps they can cause an even bigger issue, says my next guest, Skylar Logston. He is co-founder and CEO of Boomerang. Welcome to the show, Skylar. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Before we talk about your company, Boomerang, and what your Lost and Found AI or artificial intelligence-based platform is all about, you did say recently that using AirTags to track your suitcase, which I know has been a popular trend, may create a bigger problem than the lost luggage itself. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So these AirTags are growing at an extremely rapid rate. And it's not just becoming a baggage tracking device. People are slipping them in their wallets. They're slipping them in a coat when they're traveling. They'll put them on a computer bag. So yes, they are creating havoc in the industry for lost baggage, but they're also creating havoc in the wider industry for lost and found departments that don't touch baggage, but they touch things found on aircrafts, found inside of the airport and bathrooms. Also, hotels are dealing with it. Stadiums are dealing with it. Universities, anyone that touches an item that's found at their business, if it's tracked, oh yeah, you're under the gun. You need to quickly collect the item, look at your calls and emails, try to see who this is supposed to go back to, respond to them, and get it out for shipment. Because if not, they are going to or can expose you on social media, like we've seen with the United situation with a bag being at a McDonald's, then at an apartment building. And so, yeah, there's a lot of pressure around businesses needing to quickly manage their lost and found better, because AirTags are just bringing tremendous pressure.
All right. So your argument then, Skylar, is that AirTags pose a bigger problem to a business, not to a traveler or to a customer, right? Because travelers love the idea of being able to see where their items are through an app on their phone, and that's their right to see where it is. But you're suggesting that this is causing a problem for the business, not for the person using the AirTag.
Oh, absolutely. It's phenomenal innovation that we can now see where our item is. But if you can't get a hold of the business that is holding onto your item, they're not responding to your email or call for days on days, if not weeks. Great, I tracked it. I know where it's at. That even adds
even more frustration. Yeah. So it's funny. My wife recently said the same thing. Her suitcase was lost on the way to Aruba for our family vacation over Christmas break. And someone said to her in front of me saying, hey, your husband's a techie. Why don't you have an AirTag in there? And my wife, Kelly, said, well, I'd actually be more irritated if I saw my bags wherever they were and I didn't have them with me. What good is it if I can't access them? I still am at the mercy of the airline, right? So I hear what you're saying. So with that in mind, please tell us about Boomerang and your solution.
Absolutely. So yeah, Boomerang is a lost and found technology platform that reconnects people with their lost items. So we are the response for these businesses for them to quickly digitize and modernize their lost and found. So the problem with lost and found today is when you lose something, you go to the airport's lost and found on their website and it says, call this number. Email this number, and you are just in the queue of hundreds, if not thousands of emails that will get responded to eventually. So when airports and airlines and metros and rideshare companies, rental car companies, anyone that finds an item, when they partner with Boomerang, they put a link on their lost and found page. It says, submit your claim here via Boomerang. We can quickly collect a claim. You say, hey, my name is Skylar Logston. I lost my Apple Watch on Tuesday at the airport. It has a cracked screen. It has a Green Bay Packers logo on the home screen, and it has a yellow band, submit. Now, when the item is found by the business, they need to take a photo of every single item found. And then we ask the operations team a few questions about the item before they save it in their Boomerang portal. So we ask, what is the item? It's an Apple Watch. When did you find it? Tuesday. Any other details about it? Yeah, it has a cracked screen, has a Green Bay Packers logo on the home screen. It has a yellow band. Where'd you find it? In the terminal. Save. So now these airports have all their items found online. It's not just in a box. It's not just on shelves. They don't have to look through their calls and emails and try to manually match it themselves and then communicate with you, seeing how you want to retrieve your item. Do you want it shipped? Do you want to come pick it up? So Boomerang actually collects all the claims. We get the inventory uploaded, and then our AI technology does the matching. So humans don't have to. We're able to quickly communicate with customers saying, hey, we have your item. Would you like it shipped or would you like to come pick it up? If they want it shipped, we collect payment details. We collect shipping details. We put the label right in the product for the partner to print out, smack it on the box. They click one button saying it's out for shipment. We email the customer saying, hey, here's your tracking number. It's on its way. Our partners don't need to send an email around lost and found. They don't need to answer a phone call. They don't need to spend any time on matching. This allows them to quickly do their job faster, so they're not exposed by angry customers that take it to social that you have not responded about my tracked item. I know it's with you guys. Why are you not responding?
Got it. All right. So you expedite that process of reuniting people with their lost items through your partnerships. And speaking of which, I understand you just had 2 announcements last week.
Yeah, that's right. So we announced a few new international airports, Savannah International and Syracuse International. Airports collect a ton of items, and their team is doing their best to absorb just the surges in items. Anytime there's any variable in the industry, let's say canceled flights, let's say weather. Oh, this makes more items found at their airports. Travelers are spending more time at the airport, so they may be more likely to leave something.
That is true. We're going to continue chatting with Skylar from Boomerang when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with Skylar Logsdon. He's CEO and co-founder of Boomerang, a lost and found platform that leverages artificial intelligence to help businesses of all types, airports, stadiums, concert venues, hotels, cruise lines, theme parks, universities, and so on, help reunite their customers with lost items. According to Boomerang, Americans spend an estimated $2.7 billion annually to replace lost items, many of which are lost at these kinds of businesses. And speaking of which, Skylar, why has travel been such a mess since this last summer, I would argue, including bags that don't arrive with passengers, as we just experienced? And you have some TSA data that shows how big of a problem it is, right?
Absolutely. So with travel, there's so many variables that can throw them out of sync. For example, in the summer, it was oil prices, it was labor shortages, it was more travel coming back faster than they anticipated. All of this makes a perfect storm for not just lost baggage to go bonkers, but the lines, the call centers. It's as soon as they're not scaling well, they get rocked.
Yeah, because poor weather isn't anything new. So there's obviously, maybe it's post-pandemic labor shortages, as you hinted at, or efficiencies or lack thereof among airlines and their information systems.
That's right. Then you have FAA's meltdown a couple weeks ago. It's always something if it's not this. And so this winter, it was a whole new case of the airlines had to absorb. And, one airline, I think Southwest maybe started it. And then it just is a trickle-down effect and it impacts the other airlines. Because, maybe people need to transfer or maybe their lines are extremely long at the same airport next to another airline. It's a very complex job that they're doing. And anytime you fly on a flight and it goes well, appreciate that, because it is a very complicated operation they're running for you to get everything, arrive on time, get all your bags. It's magical when it works. And for the TSA data, buckle up. This number is going to be shocking to a lot of you. They are collecting 90,000 to 100,000 items per month at the TSA checkpoints. That's just at TSA. Wow. Remember, when you go through an airport, you walk through the airport, and then you go through TSA, and then you walk through the rest of the airport, then you hop on a flight. Every single one of those touch points have their own lost and found department. TSA has their own. The airport has their own. Every single airline has their own lost and found department. This is just TSA statistics here.
All right. So, Skylar, as we wrap up, for travelers who are listening or business owners, where can we learn more about Boomerang?
Yes. So if you want to learn more about Boomerang, go to www.thanksboomerang.com. Check us out. If you ever lose something, we're here. I hope we're partnered with the business that you lost an item back. And our mission is to get back people the items that they lost as quickly and seamlessly as possible.
All right. So that's thanksboomerang.com. Skylar Logsdon's been our guest. Thank you so much for your time, Skylar. All the best for 2023.
Thank you, Mark. Same to you. Thanks for having me.
We cover cybersecurity a lot on this show and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not super tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so I'm thrilled about my partnership with Visa on Tech It Out for 2023, as they've made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years. How much, you ask? $9 billion. That's to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of both individuals, like shoppers, and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm quite active on social media. So if you'd like some tech news you can use, tips and tricks to mastering your gadgets, I do link to all the articles that I write and videos I host, radio and podcast interviews. And I mentioned those tech tips of the day. Here's one that I shared the other day that a lot of people were commenting on. If you like to mess with telemarketers and those phone scammers, the people that call often overseas and they're trying to sell you something, if you're keeping them on the phone long to lead them on and to upset them so they don't call you back, it could have an opposite effect. Their supervisor will look at the phone logs and think that they almost sold you. So instead of a quick hang up, if they see that they were on the phone with you for 4 or 5 minutes, they don't know the contents of that call. And so you're going to graduate to an even more valuable list, and that's going to yield even more telemarketing and scam calls and robocalls. Just a heads up that you might think that you're trying to upset them, but it could have an opposite effect. Those are the kinds of tech tips of the day that I write on social media. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It's Mark Saltzman, but it's Mark with a C, MarkSaltzman. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. Have a great rest of your day, a fantastic week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.